case is 0.75, would be positive sign. So you have many options here. I chose the easiest because it's using all given information, which was the initial value of a maximum. So to find the height of the gum, so we have the equation. Now we can answer these questions, A and B. Find the height of the gum when Lamage gets to the corner at 15.6 seconds, assuming it maintains a constant speed. For that particular problem, you want to substitute 15.6 into our original equation. So y equals 32 cosine pi x, or excuse me, 15.6 minus 1.25 plus 32. Substitute that into your calculator and make sure your calculator mode is in radians. If our calculator is in radians and we do that calculation, we should end up with, give me 1 second here, 46.5, and we're talking about a height, 46.5, and I'm looking for label centimeters. So 46.5 centimeters will be where the gum is. So you figure 68 halfway up is 34. So 46 is somewhere in here. Find the first and second time the gum reaches a height of 12 centimeters while Lamage is growing at a constant rate. So if that's 68, 12 centimeters is going to be down here somewhere. So we're looking at the first and second time that the gum reaches a height of 12 centimeters. Alright, I'm going to just take my equation here and I'm going to go ahead and move to the next page. And I'm waiting here, we're kind of slow, not responding. And we're back now that we have things responding. So we're looking for the first and second time it reaches the height of 12 centimeters. So we're going to substitute 12 in for y. Now this is going to get a little tricky in here, so try to follow along. Let's see, we got pi x minus 1.25 plus 32. So we subtract 32 from both sides, and let's see here, that would give us negative 20 equals 32 cosine pi x minus 1.25. Okay, now we'll subtract 32. Divide by 32, both sides. So I'm going to have, let's see if I reduce that, let's see here, that would be negative 5/8 equals cosine of pi x minus 1.25. Now here's where we sort of got to keep our wits about us and remember some stuff about earlier in chapter 6 and also in chapter 4. We're talking about cosine, and we're talking about cosine equaling a negative number. And what quadrants could cosine be negative? Cosine could be negative in the second and in the third quadrant. So whenever we get an answer here, we're talking about two angle measures. Okay, so keep that in mind. So inverse cosine is next step of negative 5/8. Make sure your calculator is in radians. And that's going to equal pi times x minus 1.25. Okay, so if I do the inverse cosine of negative 5/8, I get 2.25 equals pi x minus 1.25. Now think about that, 2.25 radians is where on the unit circle, that's the answer in the second quadrant. 2.25 is the distance from 0. Okay, so to figure out this little angle here, we have to do pi minus 2.25. And then we have to take that answer, okay, and add it to pi to get the second angle. Or we could do 2 pi and subtract 2.25 to get the same thing. So if I do 2 pi minus my answer, my second possibility here is going to be 4.04 equals pi x minus 1.25. Because I'm looking for the first two instances that it touches here and here. So next step, divide by pi, so 2.25 divided by pi, okay, and then add 1.25 to it. So I get x equals 1.96. And again, that's seconds. Over here I have 4.04 divided by pi, and then I add 1.25 to it, and I get x equal to 2.53 seconds. But that's not correct because I found this one here. I'm looking for this one here. This one's definitely correct. 1.96 here is this one that I found, 1.96 seconds. I still need, although I did how many times after my beginning point. This was my beginning point. So when I did this work, I found this one and this one because they're the first two times after this scenario starts. However, the original problem, I believe, is just asking for the very first two times. Touch it. I'm waiting here for this to go backwards. And we'll find out. Or not. Alright. It is asking for the very first two times, not the first two times after. I found the first two times after. This one's in check. That's the one I want to keep. That's 1.96 seconds. This one here is corresponds to this place in the graph. I'm looking for its spot right here, which is a whole period away. Well, what was our period? Our period was 2 seconds. So all I need to do is subtract 2 seconds from that answer to get that initial time. So the other time that the gum is 12 centimeters from the ground is at 0.53 seconds. Oops, 0.53 seconds, which matches my graph first, second time. So the reason the picture here is important is because, yes, when we solve this, we're incorporating some stuff from early chapter 6 as far as two answers, okay, when you're talking about a cosine, in this case second and third quadrant because it was negative. But then not only that, we got to remember that we're talking about 2.25 radians, so I had to go backwards 2.25 radians, okay, so 2.25 backwards from 2 pi. And then I got to remember that, hey, in my actual picture, is that the first two times that this actually happens? No. It's the first two times after my beginning point. So I need to kind of do some thinking here and notice that this particular point on my graph corresponds to this point, which is a whole period away. It goes back to that idea in chapter 6 when we wanted all solutions, where we took our answer plus 2 pi n to account for all solutions. For class time tomorrow, here are the problems you are supposed to work on. Momentarily. I'm not sure why things are moving so slow today. So there we go. In the following problems, not everything's going to get assigned. These are the 5 groups. These are the problems you should work on. Cooper's team has number 9. Keely's team has 8. Lexi's team has 5. Courtney Knowles' team has number 3. And Miranda's team will do number 2. And I will see you tomorrow.